So let's get back to the
The bad ones.
from the first three movies of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, which I think we're all in agreement are pretty good.
Yes.
Um, let's get into the rest of the film, shall we? And I think you're gonna have a more positive take on the majority of it. So what do you got to say there, Fred?
Well, yeah, I think we could both agree that probably the next generation, which is part four, is the worst film in the franchise. I don't know. Maybe you hate that last one more than
I would have thought that until I saw Texas Chainsaw
okay.
3D. So
Well, that film, the next generation, is just a bad movie.
it is
Bad remake, honestly. But it has very memorable performances in it,
right.
especially by Matthew McConaughey,
Mm-hmm.
particularly as Vilmer,
Mm-hmm.
who is the by far the best part of that movie.
Yes.
But it's so bad that I kind of laugh at it. I could kind of riff on it
Right.
because it's just so silly and so ridiculous. The characters are so, but like, I they're not real people to me. They're just like someone really wrote a bad script and had these poor actors act these lines out.
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those films that it could be on cable and I know it's bad, but I'll watch it anyway.
Right. It's. I'll give it that credit. It walks the line of so bad it's good.
Yeah.
With movies like Troll 2
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. It it's and the only reason I give it that credit is because it's one of those films. Is you're watching it. I know it's horrible, but I'm not like getting angry
Right.
as I'm watching it, like the latest Texas Chainsaw movie. Yeah, this one is it's just dumb. It's not well made. I appreciate the performances of the actors in it who are trying to make lemonade from lemons. Um, you know,
Poor Leatherface in this movie though.
oh Jesus.
Transvestite Leatherface. I don't know what drag queen Leatherface. I'm not sure what he is. Um, there's
Yeah.
one scene where he puts lipstick on. I mean, why do we need to see that? He's dressed in a lingerie at dinner. I mean, it's just
Which,
weird.
I could see the character doing something like that, but it's just not.
But he's such a whiny character in that movie. Like he's picked on, and he's not a badass at all.
No, no.
He's like the victim in the family.
Which uh, is a big flaw, and I think a lot of the movies that came after Part 3, the way they handled the Leatherface character.
Right.
Especially in the latest one. But Next Generation, it's just a bad movie. I don't have a big problem with it. It is one of those movies you could watch with a group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
get some beers out or whatever, and make fun of it, and still get some sort of enjoyment out of it. So for that, I forgive it.
Honestly, it's the only film in the franchise where I could kind of recite the dialogue from it because it's so memorably bad.
Right.
Me and my cousins watch them. He's always kind of recite the lines and just start laughing. It's just
Yeah, it's that kind of movie. Now, in sitting down and rewatching some of these movies, I didn't rewatch the original remake again. I have seen it though. I don't have a huge problem with the remake. I just don't care for it because I just feel like it's something that didn't need to happen. This is not a shit on remakes kind of a thing. I'm just biased because that's my favorite horror movie that it's remaking. I know a lot of people feel the same thing about like the Evil Dead remake, which I didn't really have a problem with.
right.
But when it's their favorite movie, it bugs you a little bit more. And that's just the deal with the first remake. I didn't hate it. You get oh, why am I blanking on his name? Who's the guy from Full Metal Jacket?
Emily, is it
Yeah, it's Arlie
Ermy.
Ermy, right? He's just so awesome, and he's what redeems the New Beginning one, or the
Right.
beginning, as well. He's just really good. he he's the kind of guy that you believe that he's one scary motherfucker,
Right.
and you believe it. He sells it so well. Even being an old timer, you still go, yeah, don't fuck with that guy. So he's really the only redeemable thing about both of those films. But what's your take on the
Well, I
remake?
kind of like them more than you do.
Mhm.
The original remake I saw in theaters. I think I went with friends. They did not like it. I guess I was the one that liked it the most.
Mhm.
The only issue I have with it really is that it's too polished to be a Texas Chainsaw movie.
That's a huge problem for me.
It looks like a Hollywood studio version of the story, which
Mhm.
I think is a mistake. But I don't really see it as a remake. I see it as like sort of like a lost sequel in a way, because it kind of takes some of the elements, but it's not exactly a plot by plot, line by line remake.
Right.
Um, the characters though, I kind of wish they were better. That's why I like the beginning more, because I feel like the characters in the beginning are more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Especially when the two brothers were the Vietnam, one's a draft dodger, and the other brother is kind of defending him,
Mhm.
and he gets tortured for him to save his life, which I think is great.
Now you're talking about that's the beginning.
The beginning,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I find to be a better film, because it looks
Yeah.
gritty, it looks grittier. There's more focus on the violence. It's more brutal than the
Mhm.
remake was.
Mhm.
I think the performances were better. I think the characters were better. The only issue with it is that it's pointless, because really, what's the point in that movie being made?
That's the big flaw in that one. The original remake, um, I wouldn't call it a bad movie.
Right.
It did its thing, and then the 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 beginning one, you hit it right on the head there before it being just pointless, and the fact that and I noted this on Facebook when I was talking about it. It's like, of course, she jumped. Of course there's a dinner scene. Of course she jumps through the window to escape. It's like, but this is like a prequel. This isn't a remake. This is supposed to be. So why are the same exact fucking things happening? It's like, that's so lazy. To just recreate the whole ending again, and it ends in the daytime, and there's a chase scene. It's like, come on.
The ending of that movie is really bad.
It ruins it. It ruins the film. If it had gone a different direction, it would have been a little bit more redeemable in my eyes.
And I do kind of wish that was the original remake, because I kind of feel that was a much better film than the one before it.
Yeah, it seems way more like an official remake than the actual remake. Right?
It feels more like a Chainsaw movie than the other one did.
Yes.
But it's unfortunate, because I think a lot of elements in the beginning are much better than the one in the remake. But what can you do?
Right.
Like
which gets us to the latest Texas Chainsaw movie. Now, God damn it! And I say this every time. I really don't sit down and go, I'm gonna hate this, and then just sit there with my arms crossed and wait for it to suck. I don't do that, man. I really don't. I really wanted to give this movie a chance. I'm like, at the very least, I'll get to see some cool gore. Right. Then of course I see Nicotero doing, which means one thing to me. You're gonna see CGI blood, which I fucking hate. And of course you do see CGI blood in this film. Which I watched this before I watched Leatherface Part 3.
Okay.
I watched this movie first. And when I sat down and watched all these, then I watched the original Part 2, then I watched Part 3, and it was so great to see Tom Savini. Like, there we go. That's some real shit right there. But this movie sucks ass. I really what the fuck, man? In the biggest, just fuck you to the fans, and just no, not even fans. Fuck you to anybody who's watching it. The timeline.
Oh, that was terrible.
So it's supposed to be now, and they're telling you that the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened when it happened,
Right.
And the lead character is the daughter of one of the original family members,
Right.
which would make her older than me, but yet she's an early 20-something character.
She's the hottest 40-year-old woman I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. and I'm even giving it credit, and I'm going, okay, well, maybe this is supposed to take place like back in the 90s.
Right.
Or something. Then they go to a gas station where the gas is like almost $4 a gallon. I go, well, that's not the fucking 90s, goddammit.
The music gives it away anyway, because it's like
Right.
very modern music.
Right. That is just that's just a straight up kick to the balls to anybody watching, to question everybody's intelligence watching the film.
Speaking of the family, the timeline, how many family members were in the beginning?
Oh, Jesus.
Remember how the original just had like 4 people?
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like 20. Like, what?
Now all of a sudden, all these
what were they
families come out of the
hiding?
woodwork to help defend the home.
Where were they hiding at?
And poor fucking Bill Moseley has to be in this shit heap of a film. Luckily, he gets killed off at the beginning.
With a nice paycheck.
Which he makes an awesome lead of the family. He would have. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the casting was for that character in the other remakes was great, but he would have done great in that character too. He would have been more reminiscent of the original lead, head of the family household. I forget the character's name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
But anybody who's familiar with the films knows exactly who I'm talking about. But
Right.
Because Moses he's a great character actor. He's just he knows, he understands those characters, I think. So seeing him was great, but luckily he didn't have to be in the rest of the shit turd of a film. God, where I don't even know where to begin. That timeline thing was a big slap in the face. The characters are
Yeah.
no, you don't like any character. They're just terribly written characters. I know you don't think this film is as terrible as I am, so feel free to defend the film.
Well, I can't defend it because it is not a great film at all. When I saw it in theaters the day it came out, and I left kind of feeling like partly insulted, but kind of partly entertained by how bad it was. I did think the lead actress, Alexandra Daddario, was probably the best part of that. Like after the modern day scenes, I thought she was the best part about it. Leatherface, I mean, he's got to be pushing 60, right? I mean, and he's just running around like a 30-year-old.
Right.
Like,
you just that's the whole thing. The aging of the whole time frame of this film. It's you can't forgive it. You can't. It's not something you can forgive. And I don't like that Leatherface is now basically Forrest Gump with a mask. This
run, Leather, run.
Oh, the ending is just, oh my god.
Do your thing, cuz. Everybody in the theater started cracking up. I was dying. Like that did not just come out of her mouth. And the characters are really badly written.
Horrible.
The boyfriend is cheating on the best friend, and it doesn't go anywhere, and she's not mad about it. It's like, why do you put these things in there and not do anything with them?
Thank you. The fact that she could forgive Leatherface just because they're cousins of killing all her friends, and now she's his character. And spoilers, fuck you, spoilers. Don't see this movie. Don't even get a torrent of this fucking film. Don't even waste your fucking time. That was such an unbelievable aspect of the film. It's like, okay, well, like, we're cousins, so we're cool with you, like, horribly murdering all my friends.
Yeah.
whoever wrote this film needs to be fucking drop kicked to the fucking face. That's how bad this is.
It was so weird because with the cop was the bad guy right at the end.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like such a strange turn.
And to
Like,
make the people the Hicks that killed the family originally, to make them the villains,
right.
and some sort of way redeeming the original
Leatherface,
family.
right.
It's who the fuck wrote this shit? I really would. I mean, and I noted this on Facebook. I would never say kill whoever did this, because it's, you make a bad movie, but whoever deserves some sort of like slap across the face at least. And it would be a positive thing. Just like some people just need to be slapped across the face, and what are you staring at, lady? I'm going off on a fucking movie here. Don't even give me shit. Eat your pretzels, lady.
I gotta say though that it kind of reminded me of the Devil's Rejects, but done in a worse way, where you kind of change sympathy towards the villains at the end. It really it comes out of nowhere. It makes no sense.
It was this weird turnabout. Is fair play with Zombie obviously using a lot from part 2 and part 3, and then this film really wanted to be the Devil's Rejects, but failed miserably.
Yeah, and they're making a sequel out of this one, and I don't know where they can go with it, honestly.
Burn it. That's what they should do. Burn it. Kill it with fire.
Unfortunately, it made a lot of money. It ain't going nowhere.
and that's another thing I pointed out on my little Facebook rant was fuck who was ever involved in this movie. Fuck whoever likes this movie, because whoever likes this movie is responsible for another one being made. I'm all for liking bad movies, man, but this goes beyond bad movie. For example, Cemetery of Terror that we just watched is a bad movie, but you can tell that that's not what they were trying to make. They were trying to make something of quality, and you can't fault somebody for not being able to deliver when they're trying their best to make something, whatever they saw in their head, just not coming to fruition. Where this is obviously, they just didn't know jack shit about the franchise, or if okay, maybe they knew about the franchise, but they just gave two shits about it, and we're gonna make whatever the fuck they thought was gonna make money. It just, no thought being put into the script, into the characters, and anything. You just can't do that and get away with somebody like me just going, oh well, it's just so bad it's good. There's just a difference between this and movies like Cemetery of Terror. It's just, you can't redeem it. It's I want to hurt things.
You want to get a chainsaw and just go crazy, right? You must have loved that phone scene with the cops inside the house.
Oh God!
You must have loved that.
So terrible. What the hell were they thinking with this film, man? There's this.
It's called money. That's what they were thinking. Let's make some money. Let's milk this franchise. Let's do it in 3D, which didn't really work.
But that's still not an excuse, because I could say the same thing about the original remake and the new beginning, or the beginning. Right. I think it's the same deal, but there was still a little bit of thought put into the making of the films. I'll give those credit as far as that goes. This was just terrible, horrible. Middle finger right to your face, right to the fan, right to anybody watching it. Just fuck you. Watch this movie. It's a horror movie. You stupid shit. Give us your money. Fuck you. That's what the whole thing. That was this movie was saying. Fuck you. You're stupid. You're a horror fan. You don't give a shit. Give us your money. That's all this movie was saying. And I just say fuck you right back to it. Thank you.
Oh man.